Good morning, it's your boy Noisy Andrew, and it's stupid o'clock in the morning. I mean, there's lights around, but that's because I'm walking across a shopping centre car park after being to the bakery to get the morning bread. And the reason it's up early, the reason it's so early, is because I can't sleep. I have this problem. I like train games. I like trains. In the last decade, I've designed quite a few train games. And if you're a train game designer, there's one thing you must do. One thing. It's more important than anything else, even beer. And that's get a certain Mr. Train Game, let's call him Jokomotive, to notice your game and show some interest. Give it his thumb, so to speak. And I tried this. I did. I posted some images on the interwebs of a train game I did. And he did notice. He noticed one of the cards and said, "Oh, this looks like me, but the hair's the wrong colour." So I changed the hair. And then I said, "Are you interested?" And he was like, "Nah, too busy drinking beer." I'm like, oh. And that was some years ago. And ever since, it's gnawed at me. I can't sleep, Jokomotive, and it's because of you. Anyway, I've thought about this. How can I change my train game so that Jokomotive might go, "Oh, okay, not great, but interesting." Because, like, seriously, if that happened, I think I'd die. Like, you know, one of those happy deaths. What do they call it in French? Petite mort or something? Anyway, maybe I should explain how this particular Noisy Andrew train game works. Not my first. Trying to think if it's the last one I did. Just making sure I'm not going to get run over crossing a road at stupid o'clock in the morning. It's not the last one I did. Or is it? I probably should do some research before I put myself in front of a camera lens, hey? But anyway, let's look at how Vintage Steam is played.
I designed Vintage Steam in 2021. As you play it, you'll build a heritage railway for families, tourists and train nerds to enjoy. This includes track, interesting landmarks along the track, and locomotives that you will either own or hire. The cards that represent all this may have a cost to pay in the top right corner, a points value in the top centre, and possibly an ability to generate revenue shown as a ticket in the top left. Other cards in the deck may represent events like a steam gala, a storm, or a visit from a track inspector. Cards with any track on them are simply placed to the right of the previous track card. Cards with tuck written on the bottom may be tucked under a track card. All track cards, except stations, may have only one card tucked under them. You'll want to lay track, tuck cards and run locomotives to generate the most points that you can. Vintage Steam is played in rounds. Each player is dealt a hand of card at the beginning of each round. You and the other players then choose one card to keep and pass the rest of your hands to the player next to you. You keep doing this until you are down to 2 cards. When each player is down to 2 cards, you choose one to play and discard the other for no benefit. The card you choose can either be played face up for its action or addition to your railway, or face down and you get £2 from the bank. Note that cards with a red border do not go to the discard pile if played face up. Set them to one side out of the game after following their instructions. Locomotives may be tucked, meaning you own them, or placed to the left of your home station, meaning you have hired them. A hired locomotive is worth no points at the end of the game and is discarded when it is used to generate a revenue. When you have placed at least 5 cards with track on them to the right of your starting station and have a locomotive or more either tucked or placed, you may look to play the track inspector to finish the game. Otherwise, the inspector can be played face down for £2, though If a player does this, any player with more than £9 must pay £5 back to the bank. Note that the rail fans allow you to draw a Steam Gala card and tuck it face down so that only you know the points it's worth. Or you can simply tuck the rail fan and collect some income at some point. At the end of the game, you reveal your Steam Gala bonus cards and add up all your points. If you have the most, you win. So that's how vintage Steam works. And that still leaves me with the problem, how do I get Jokermotive to notice it, to like it, to say, oh, maybe it's about a 5 out of 10. Even 5 out of 10 from Jokermotive is like pretty special. And I thought of all of these things. I could offer him cake. I could offer him boobies. And then I could offer him shares. Shares! He loves shares. But the problem I have is all my games are 2 pages of rules only. Both sides of an A4. If I can't fit the rules on both sides of an A4, the game is not a goer. I spend a lot of time removing rules from my game design to make them more accessible. And I think adding shares to vintage Steam, I think that would tip it over the edge. But there's something similar to shares that isn't shares, but feels like shares in a very share sort of way. And that is an auction. If you remember, in vintage Steam, you deal out cards and each player picks a card, passes the rest on to the player on their left or right, depending on which turn it is. And then you play the card you've picked. And then you'll have a new set of a new hand of cards, and you'll pick one and pass it on until you're down to 2. What about if we just put 4 cards in the middle of the table, or however many players there are, and people bid? That's almost like a stock market thing, isn't it? The winning bidder would get to choose first. One of my other favourite games is a Bruno Ferduti game called Boomtown. I'm actually a bit of a Bruno Ferduti fan. He's designed a lot of great games. We have a bunch of them here. Now, in Boomtown, the winning bid doesn't go to the bank. It is redistributed around the table, rounded up. My thought for an auction for vintage Steam would be the winning bidder chooses first, and then clockwise round the table, people could choose next, regardless of what they bid. But the winning bid is distributed around the table, 50%, 50%, 50% of whatever's left. So if someone bids 6, this person would get 3, that person would get 2, the last person at the table would get 1. So the money stays in the game. And I'm wondering how that mechanic would work with vintage Steam. If you'd like to try it, put a comment below, and I will, in a couple of weeks when there's probably 2 or 3 comments, because this is a Party Meeple video after all, and more than 4 comments is a bonus. I will make a copy and send it out to you. In fact, maybe I'll do it to 2 people. If you're prepared to post a picture somewhere on social media that you've played it and do a rating on Board Game Geek, I would love that. If you're prepared to do that, pop a comment below and I'll do a random selection and make a couple of copies of vintage Steam. If this sounds like your thing, love you to have one of my handmade copies and see what you think of it. If you're not interested, but you're still here, well, thanks very much for watching. And also, maybe I'll give a t-shirt away in the next video, like the last video I gave a t-shirt away. So please subscribe so that you know when the next Party Meeple video comes out. Might be next week, might be next year. Guaranteed it'll be a surprise.